I just want to give a little background, a little history about Jenny, for those of you who want to get an idea of what she's gone through. Jenny, you had an ex-husband who was an overt.
Yes.
And an ex-boyfriend who was a covert.
Yes.
But you had no idea about any of those until you went on this journey, road to recovery,
yes,
of looking up everything.
Yes.
Give everybody kind of the parameters of what you've had to deal with to get to where you are right now.
I went through a lot of mental anguish. Yeah, it was really funny because my ex, which was the covert, was the one that was diagnosing me with all of these disorders, like borderline personality disorder or paranoid personality disorder. And
wow,
he sent me to Dr. Romney on YouTube, which she is
wow,
like the narcissist specialist.
She's the bomb.
Yes.
Yes, right.
And so I
Yes.
started watching that, and I was like, wait a minute. That's you.
That's you.
Yeah.
So wait, he sent you because, of course, in a narc's mind, you know, you're the problem. We're the problem, as it were. The other person is the problem. But actually, what he did is he actually undercut himself because you started to get an idea of what you were dealing with.
Yes. Yes. And matter of fact, also, his mother had books, so many books on narcissism. And when we went to her house, I saw like just rows of books on narcissism. So it just kind of put the two and two together, maybe.
Did she ever talk to you about narcissism or anything in the family?
She said that
or why she had the books?
She said she believed that her husband, her ex-husband, which was his father, was a narcissist.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she had the books. Did she never mentioned the son, though? She never mentioned.
Her son is perfect.
Your boyfriend at the time.
Her son is perfect.
Her son was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so the books didn't apply to him,
mm-hmm.
of course, or her,
mm-hmm.
but it was the father who was gone now.
Yes.
And that could be all kinds of stories behind that. Maybe he was the one that tried to escape. So for all we know,
we don't know.
Real story.
Yeah.
He's probably free like you are right now. It's going like, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. What happened pretty much after that? From what you experienced. So he's telling you to go see Dr. Romney, and you go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
What happened next?
Well, every little thing I did, so like everything I would say, he would say, "It's you're having perceived thoughts. You have a fear of abandonment. You're seeing things, Jenny, because you have perceived thoughts. You're making things and concocting things in your mind. You're trying to make it out like I'm this bad person, and I'm not. It's you, baby." And then he'll like hold me.
Wow.
Yeah, he'll hold me and he'll like, "Jenny, I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm not gonna give up on you. I'm here for you." And the blessing about this is that it's curable. All you have to do is just keep studying. I'm gonna study here with you, and we're gonna cure this together. And so I was literally obsessed with trying to cure myself on something I didn't even have. But he
was literally in your head.
Oh, in my head.
Go ahead.
And then literally every little thing. I mean, I literally questioned myself. I mean,
little stepping stones to move you in a direction.
Yes.
That he needed to move you to.
Yes, and
because that's just one aspect. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's just something small to the bigger picture. I mean, like, it's to the point where I saw his phone and he called like so many girls, like he was on the phone for hours with girls, and I thought he was at a meeting this whole time. And I was like, what are all these girls? Like, you're talking to all these girls. And then I just left the phone in bed, walked into the living room, and then he follows me in the living room, pulls me back into the room, and he's like, what girls? He deleted all the phone numbers.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, what girls? He literally sits me on his lap again and then like cradles me, and he's like, I'm not going to give up on you. And he's like, I know it just seems like it's too good to be true, but don't feel that way.
How pathetic.
Yeah.
Very pathetic.
Yes.
Extremely pathetic.
Yes, and I'm literally sitting here like, oh my God. But I do know.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around it.
He ends up sleeping with these girls. I mean, he pretends he's a virgin. Somehow he is in a relationship with these girls, and these girls, they live together and they work together, but they are hiding this relationship from one another. So from one another.
He's sleeping with them.
And
they're young. We're talking young girls.
They're 18. All of them
they're young
18,
women.
Yeah. And so I started dating him when I was 18. I dated him 3 times. So they do cycle. Yeah. So like so just for everybody's listening when you say the 3 times. So 2008, 2013, and 2008, 2013, and 2018 5 years.
Was him like circling back each time. So finally, as it were, he got you the last time.
But I was older and more experienced. Before you finally
kicked him to the curb. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think he probably thought you were still kind of greenhorn and didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
But go ahead. So talk about these girls, because this is really this is extremely pathetic on his part. But go ahead.
So he somehow creates like this, I can't even say a love triangle because it's just more than that. But these girls are keeping it from one another. They still don't know that one another had a relationship with him. And he still, he gets all of them together, and they all think they have this special connection with him, but just on the down low. And
right. From each other. They think, and they're living together
so well. It's amazing. And so when I was dating him, I actually went to eat with all of them at one point, maybe once or twice, not knowing.
With the girls he's sleeping with and
with his
you?
Staff, yes, and me. And
oh wait, that's right. I'm sorry. That's right. They are his staff.
Yeah, prior to me even knowing.
Okay.
Yeah, prior to me even knowing all of this, and I just remember him being like, "Listen, they don't need to know that we're dating. I want to keep our relationship, really, really private until it gets serious, and I respected that because that's his work, and so he sat on one end of the table and I sat on the other end, but we were facing one another, and then these girls are in between, and some of the guys, and the guys are dating these girls too. They only date each other.
The guys work for him as well?
Yes.
Or they're just friends of his?
They work with him as well.
They work? So they're his employees?
They are his employees. That he took in these...
Oh, that he helped them out when they didn't have a place to live and all this kind of stuff, so he was able to put his, as it were, foot in the door in a very manipulative way. Wow. How do you fit in all of this? How did you end up?
I don't fit in. That's why I'm out.
Well, I'm going to say, okay, air high fives. Air from way over here. From California to Atlanta, air high fives. So I'm just, so at some point you were in this. When did it start making sense to you that this made no sense? So
a lot of it didn't make any sense, but I took it as quirks. I was like, okay, this is just a weird quirk of his, And then he kept saying that his staff was like his sisters or his brothers, or he'll call them they're like my daughters, And they would call him for every little thing. I mean, if they wanted to go buy new clothes, he would take them all shopping and buy new clothes for them. Very odd. Very odd.
Wait, stuff. They wouldn't go. They wouldn't or couldn't go without him to go do it?
No, he always went with them. Yeah.
It's almost like you need a poster of this guy and make sure that every woman knows that,
Yeah.
Be sure.
It's awesome.
So, and he likes them young. I think that was one of the things I made note of when we were talking. He likes them essentially 18, or as it were.
All of his girlfriends.
Young girl mindset.
Yeah, all of these girls at one point, they all started when they were 18. I think maybe one was maybe 20.
With him?
Yes.
What, sleeping with him or just working for him? Or both?
I guess both. Yeah. And so he would gain more staff, but he has an inner circle that live with him, but then he has more staff that don't live with him. So he was also messing with those girls too, but they were recycled, so they like quit eventually. And then, you know, but he was messing with tons of girls at one time. Scary.